All right, happy Thursday night, everybody. Welcome into the Arctic Air Studios. Outside is like 152 degrees. At least that was showing on my truck dash, and my truck dash and the interior of my truck are about the same right now. Hopefully, your house is not like that. Why? Because you're working with the confidence of Arctic Air. Now, if not, you need to call the bear. If the AC is still limping along, we got another month or so of really high temperatures. So please don't put yourself in a bad position. Now, when it becomes wintertime, too, the bear can help. You want to be hot then. So please don't try to limp this thing along. Call the bear, callthebear.com. Indeed, Craig, the talking box is on, one of the first ones in tonight. They're on Facebook, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, our YouTube channel, which is free. Everybody should subscribe, whether you watch on Facebook or Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media on Twitter. Everybody should subscribe to all of our platforms so you don't miss a thing. Yeah, United Supermarkets and Market Street taking care of that. I stopped off at United today, and you know what I was thinking? Roadside food. When we think roadside food, what are we thinking about? Picnic food stuff. I got cold fried chicken and a can of pork and beans. I ain't lying. I am not making this up. I got cold fried chicken, a can of pork and beans. The pork and beans are in the fridge with the cold fried chicken. Gonna have that tonight. Sounded good. It's incredibly hot. I didn't want anything too heavy. See, I'm gonna gnaw on some cold fried chicken tonight, a little pork and beans, and hang out. Now we're gonna hang out with you guys for the next half hour or so. Thanks to all of our great sponsors, like the Shropshire Agency, independent, just like you guys, for over 65 years. Find out what they can do for your business, your church, your family. Doesn't matter. They are ready to go to work for you. So get a hold of Jeff Shropshire and the Shropshire Agency. And of course, our friends at McAlpin Chiropractic. Can't say it. Wouldn't be legal. I wouldn't say it out loud. I would never say that if your back's out of whack, don't call a quack, call Kevin Mack. That would be wrong. I would never do that. But I would tell you that my own family's used him in the past when they needed it. And he's a good dude, good Red Raider, great West Texan, Kevin McAlpin, McAlpin Chiropractic. All of the Western wear you see, thank you, Boot City. And go to our Facebook page right now. We got links to all the cool boots that they're putting out right now for fall. You got to go there. Boot City, One Money, Saving Mile, outside the West Loop on 19th Street. CJ says, enjoyed the replay from yesterday. You are awesome. Yes, I am. I've told my wife that numerous times. CJ, if you would tell my wife that, if you would let my wife know that I am, in fact, awesome, we could do it. All right, here's what we're talking about tonight. Welcome to August. It's hot. High school football back. Texas Tech back practicing. NFL tonight. The Bears aren't playing any of their starters, so there's no real reason to watch the game. And if you're wagering on this, it's not that it's bad to wager on preseason football. There are great value opportunities. This one tonight, hey, good luck to you. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe Houston, money line, and a slight shot to the under 32.5, 33, what you guys are seeing. Welcome back, football. Welcome to August, and welcome to August optimism. There is nothing better than August optimism. There isn't. You guys on Twitter right now, you can get in thanks to United Supermarkets. It's easy. Just text in, chat line, fire away. You got to click on the show. You got to get in on it. We have so many people on Twitter, and I know they kind of try to figure out how to get in. It's not that hard. You just got to click on the deal and go from there. Facebook, you guys know how to do it. YouTube, YouTube is our least followed channel, but it's vitally important. And I wish more people would subscribe to that channel so we can do more stuff for you there on Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland with YouTube. So here we are in August. August optimism is nothing better. I mean, the last 2 days I've seen Micah Hudson catch passes for Texas Tech. Nobody's ever caught passes like that. Not Wes Welker, not Lloyd Hill. Nobody. They're going to go 18-0, probably. Why are you optimistic about Texas Tech football right now? Give me that. And whatever your favorite team is, maybe you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, and I don't want to just absolutely crush the hopes and dreams of Dallas Cowboy fans, although if you are at least my age, you understand that since 1995, it's been the same thing every year, and there's a reason for that. But for some of the younger ones, you're still coming around, you're still buying the jerseys, you're still buying the tickets. you're still propping up the mechanism in the machine that is Jerry Jones Inc. So tonight we ask you, why are you optimistic? Why are you optimistic about Tech football this year? And I only halfway joke about Micah Hudson that, they are tweeting out Don Williams, Nathan, other guys, David Collier, look at that. He made a catch. Well, damn sure he better. He's one of the best recruits in the country at wide receiver. He better make a catch. What's got you optimistic? It's okay to be optimistic within reason. With reason-based optimism is fine. Now, if you go in blindly optimistic every year and think this is our year no matter what, and it's going to be different, this is a 10, 11, 12 year, this is it, you set yourself up for frustration and failure. And you're the guy in October and November who's texting into my shows and commenting on the shows and calling into the old radio shows, and you're apoplectic. You can't stand yourself. You're drinking whiskey and you're angry. And I'm like, where were you in August? Where were you in September? So why are you optimistic right now? We have that tonight. Also, it is Happy Birthday MTV, August 1, 1981. Where were you that day for those who are around? And obviously, we're getting longer in the tooth. It was a game changer. It was a life changer, really. For many of us, depending on which age you are, plus or minus about 5-10 years either side of me, MTV, and it's hard if you are under the age of, say, 40, I would say, because by the time you're paying attention, if you're 40 years old, MTV wasn't MTV. So you got to be at least 40 years old to understand the impact that MTV had on society, on our lives, on just hauling ass home from school, going, what's Martha Quinn doing today? What's the Martha Quinn music quiz today? Are they going to show Rush? Are we going to get to see AC/DC? Are going to show Duran Duran? So I ask you tonight, in your opinion, the greatest videos of all time. You tell us tonight. That's really the lineup. Little August optimism. Football in general. We threw this out there last night. We can do this tonight. The greatest numbers in sports. And we can do this by sports. We can do it, by sports. By that I mean, like best numbers in football, best numbers in basketball, baseball. What you would wear, whatever. Like football, the greatest number in football is 12. No offense, Brett Favre, and it doesn't have anything really to do with Tom Brady, but 12. That's it. 12 is the greatest number in football history. We go with 12. Basketball, there would be some people would say 23, obviously for Jordan. Before that, you're looking at a lot of different numbers in basketball. Might have gone with the old 33 for Bird. We could go with Magic. We could go with Wilt. We could go with a lot of different numbers over the years. There are some numbers that, by the way, look right in basketball that don't look right in football, and vice versa, or vice versa. Like 17 was one of my favorite numbers. You couldn't wear 17 in high school back in the day. Hondo, John Havlicek, last one to wear it, I think, in the NBA, if not the last one. One of those. So you get into baseball. You had 44, and Hank Aaron. Nolan Ryan, 34. 34 in football. Earl Campbell, not bad, good one. So all those things tonight. Greatest numbers in sports. I want your favorite MTV videos, the greatest videos of all time. And then we're talking August optimism. I want you to tell me why you're optimistic about Texas Tech. Is it Taj Brooks? Is it a healthy Baron Moore? It's certainly not a healthy offensive line right now. You got one more, I think, down today. That ain't so good. What is it, though? Hold on. Product placement. There you go. Product placement. What is it that has you optimistic right now? Jumping in. Tech offensive skill position players seem much better this year. Keeping Barron healthy is a key. 100%. Keeping Baron Morton that's it. He needs to start 12 games for the most part. No, not for the most part. He needs to start 12 games. Every game he doesn't start, I would factor in a loss this year. That the depth of the quarterback room, the experience, and everything else, I would not say it would be a win. So I would say every game he can't start is a loss. Now, every season you've had since Patrick Mahomes last year, you did not start the same quarterback. Nick Shimonek could have started the Texas game. He didn't his last year, and then he told Cliff Kingsbury, "If you don't want to die, put me in." They did. So yeah, I'm comfortable in saying that for every game he doesn't start, that's probably a loss. Lynn says 12, Roger Staubach. We're talking about greatest numbers in sports. What are the best numbers in sport? 12 was the ubiquitous number of the 1970s, and Lynn and I are probably close to the same age. I think he's significantly older. He's probably about 71 or 72. Yeah, in the 70s, almost all the quarterbacks were wearing 12. Staubach, Bradshaw, Greasy, who am I leaving out? Stabler. Targeting was wearing 10. Trying to think of Super Bowl quarterbacks, but most of the quarterbacks, most of the cool guys were wearing 12, which is exactly why I had to wear 12 until I couldn't get it because an upperclassman had it, and I had to wear 21, which my dad thought, well, that's cool. Just flip it around. You can wear 21, and you'll be like an Odessa Permian quarterback. You'll wear a 20, and I'm like, this sucks. I didn't want to wear a 20. Made me slow, I thought. Turns out it wasn't the number that made me slow. CJ saw the catch from Hudson. Agree, he is fantastic. Keeping everyone from injury is key for sure. Yeah, every team, every injury, everything. That's one more, that's just every team's got to be injury free. So I want to know tonight, Texas Tech fans, whatever team you're a fan of, August optimism. You've seen nothing out of your team other than what the media is allowed to show in the limited time they're allowed to show it. Why are you optimistic? And it's okay to be optimistic. August optimism is what you should do. Like Dallas fans right now, you're optimistic because, well, I don't know why, but you're optimistic for some reason. I'm sure you are. Can't think of anything offhand. There were no solid moves in the offseason. You have a coach that seems to be fed up with Jerry Jones. You have Jerry Jones who's just like, I don't care anymore. I'm not going to extend anybody's deals. I'm going to live to be 109, maybe 120. He's got the money. He's got the wealth. That Jerry Jones doesn't seem to be concerned from that standpoint. I'm sure there's a reason why, as a Dallas fan, you would be optimistic. I mean, maybe regression on the Eagles' parts. Maybe that could be it. San Francisco, maybe they really didn't regress that much. Brock Purdy probably only getting better at this point. It's probably not it. The NFC South, yeah, that's it. The NFC, you're better than everybody in the South. So see, and certainly Green Bay is not getting better, and yeah. Chicago, no. Well, I mean, Giants are not better. The Giants are not better, and the Redskins are not better. So that's good if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan. There's your reason for August optimism. I think I filled in all the blanks for you. You guys can jump in thanks to United Supermarket. If you are on YouTube, it's easy. Just fire away comments, questions. Same thing, Twitter, X, whatever you are on. We got a ton of folks out there watching that, and we just love to hear from you. Whether we're talking about the greatest sports number, whether we're talking about the greatest MTV videos of all time, it's MTV birthday today, and then reasons you're optimistic for Texas Tech or your favorite team, whatever it may be. Best early MTV videos. Most of the early MTV videos in 81 were not stylized. They were a lot of concert vids. They were a lot of just concert footage, and we'll throw it up there, and we didn't know we had to do a video. who didn't know he had to do anything. One of the first bands that really captured it cinematically and really allowed itself to get a foothold was Duran Duran and the video for Rio. And here's the deal: Duran Duran had been doing videos even before that. The show for Planet Earth, they had Girls on Film. They had made videos in England for a couple of shows over there, and just in general, well before they knew that they were going to be making them for MTV. So Duran Duran, Rio is probably one of the best ones early on that solidified a band that would probably have been popular anyways, but the Rio video certainly took it to a next level. Now, Dire Straits' Money for Nothing comes out in 87, 86. Great video. It involves some animation. It was really different, really cool. Anybody know, real quick, who sings the part on the song Money for Nothing? I Want My MTV. They're like, I want my MTV, which is the slogan back then for MTV. I want my MTV. Anyone know that? I'll tell you the story on how that song was written by Mark Knopfler here in just a second. David Lee Roth videos, Girls, Girls, Girls back in the day. Yeah. Girls, Girls, Girls. California Girls is probably what you're thinking of. Girls, Girls, Girls was, just like that Motley Crue. Totally different video, two different videos. But yeah, David Lee Roth doing the Beach Boys, California Girls. Great video. Anyone know who did the I Want My MTV line? Dire Straits in the studio. That was a very good one. Dire Straits, one of the underrated bands of all time. He had just a ton of early videos that most of them were crappy. It didn't matter. We didn't care. Most of them were concert footage that the record company just immediately put out and said, we got to have something out for these songs. And they really didn't get into the cinematic, type deal until about 82, 83. And then you had a lot of the Euro bands were ahead of it. Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, Soft Cell, Adam Ant, Adam and the Ants, Adam Ant. What was his real name? Dirk Bentley. Golly, what was his real name? Anyways, Adam and the Ants also had some very stylized videos, Ant Music, among others, that were really, really good. And that set them apart. Really disappointed in our Dire Straits crowd for not knowing who did that, who did the I Want My MTV line. Really disappointed. Collier, are you out there yet? You weren't going anywhere. Well, you were too young. All right, so Dire Straits, they're recording in the studio in England, and it's the same studio that the Police had been working at prior, and then you had Sting, who was working on, was it Murder by Numbers or whatever, the song he was working on. And he's up there at the studio, same time they're working on that. And he looks at Mark Knopfler, and they're putting this down. He says, I want to do like a little something. I want to, I like this. And it was Sting in the studio during the intro who does the I Want My MTV little voice. It's almost not singing. It's just a little, I want my MTV. And that's Sting. Who does that? Took no money, took no credit. Robert says, if you're betting tonight, you're a degenerate. No, you're not. You're not a degenerate if you're betting tonight. Now, you could be misinformed. You could be operating on bad intelligence. You're not a degenerate if you're betting tonight. There are many people who believe that there are value proposition bets that are going on in this game. Individuals and otherwise, talking about the Bears, talking about the Texans. You're not a degenerate if you're betting on NFL preseason. This game, however, is just a whole lot of hard to figure. So I say, for me personally, it would be a pass. I don't have any firm grasp on anything I think I'm going to see tonight, other than maybe the under, and the under could get blown up by a late touchdown. 32, 32 and a half, 33 and a half. I mean, that's 24-7, and all of a sudden, you're screwed up. 21-7, you're fine. 21-10. You're fine. All of a sudden, they trot out some guy for a late field goal, kill you on that. So, yeah. Meanwhile, there's good baseball to pay attention to tonight. The greatest MTV videos of all time, your favorite ones on that. We got a few more minutes left. We're going to go about another 5 or so. We also ask you tonight, Texas Tech football fans, August optimism is the best. Why are you optimistic right now with Texas Tech football? What makes you optimistic? What gives you the biggest reason to think this is going to be a really good year, or a good year, or whatever, however you define optimism, however you define what's going to be a good year? What is that? What would it be? Now, I think Taj Brooks is the biggest reason for me, because he allows you to build off a great run game. And you can't have play action passing without a great run game that people know you're willing to run the ball. If you don't have that, nothing else matters. You can play action all you want. If they don't believe that you're going to run, they're still going to drop back in coverage. They believe you're going to run. You know, Kitley showed last year, we're going to run the football. That just made Baron Morton better by the commitment and the willingness to do that. Then we have two things that we think would be optimistic going in off the best thing you have coming back, which is Taj Brooks. And we say, now we think we're going to command double coverage with Micah Hudson. We think we've got a guy that's going to roll over a safety, right? Bracketed coverage. They're not going to put an outside backer. They're not going to put a nickel guy. They're going to roll a safety and a corner on Hudson. We think if he's that good. So now I've rolled over coverage to the right side of the field. I've opened up the middle. Well, how can I attack the middle? Oh, hello, 6'5", 6'6" tight ends. Up the seam, same side. Who are they going to get matched up on? Outside backer, dime back. Physically, they can't handle it. So now I've rolled safety corner over here. I've got linebacker over here. I still can run the football, by the way, to the weak side, away from the strong side. If you're over here, I can still run him. I got a light box over here now. Why do I have that? Because you move the middle linebacker over when you move the outside linebacker over here to account for the tight end and the inside receiver who's going to come underneath. And I build off that. And I build off that every single play. I say, you want to take away Taj? You take away Taj. You want to take away the tight end? You take away the tight end. Come down farther. Guess what I got? I got a guy who can blow the top off a little bit. I'm not talking Tyreek Hill, but a guy that you've got to account for bracketed coverage, inside, outside the hash marks, and you've left about 25 yards somewhere out there for some freaking dude to get open. Throw him the ball. Ryan, a good year would be for Tech to be in the mix for the Big 12 playoff spot. No, Ryan, that would not be a good year. It would not. I don't know how old you are, Ryan. That would be a freaking great year. You've never been in the mix. Other than basically 1 year and you were in the mix. Be a great year. Don't say a good year. Say a great year. Say the best year in my freaking life as a Texas Tech football fan would be for Texas Tech to go into the last week of the regular season competing for a chance to play into the playoff. Say that out loud. Lori is incredibly smart. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers don't come around here anymore. In the Alice in Wonderland, 85, a little later than that, actually. We'll say later than that. Somebody Google it real quick. I want to say 88, 89, maybe. Some of Mike Campbell's best work as the guitarist for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And live and in concert, it's incredible. It's one of those songs that you can never capture its full essence on an album. And then when you see them in concert, and one of the best ones live in Gatorville with Stevie Nicks on stage with them doing that. Got her little tambourine. She's spinning around, craziness. Cool stuff. Overrated guitar player Santana. That was yesterday. Overrated, underrated, rated. Right? We're talking guitar players. Santana's not overrated. Santana's rated right. Now, you don't have to love him, Chris, but Carlos Santana, can flat play guitar. So, yeah, I don't see him overrated. Robert, the Cowboys will be bad, but they will also will not be bad, but they will also not win the Super Bowl. 13-4 will be the record. I will. I'll put a hundo down on that right now. I'll take the under on 13 on a hundo with you, Robert, and say they won't get close to that. I think Dallas is closer to a 9-win team, much closer to a 9-win team than a 13-win team. This thing could spiral out of control quickly. If they lose some games early, they're not invested on Dak. He'll shut down. Mike McCarthy could be fired by mid-season if it's not going well. This is a throwaway year for Jerry Jones. And when he's in a throwaway year, go back and look at what he did. Was it 2011 when he fired Parcells? Or not Parcells, but Phillips. Was it 2011? It's a throwaway year. He throws away years. He thinks he's going to live to 130. Remember, with science on his side, medical technology, and his steady stream of income, there's no reason to believe he can't live to be 240 years. Finally, freaking David Collier shows up, KMAC 28 sports director, with 4 minutes to go. Production value of You Can Call Me Al was through the roof. You got Chevy Chase. You got conga drums. This is good. And it's almost in one linear shot with, I believe it's more than a 2-camera. But for the most part, it's a seamless linear shot of it ongoing, and Paul Simon coming in and bringing in shit and doing stuff, and Chevy Chase just going, I'm still alive. It's 1987. Thank you. Prediction: Dallas will announce Coach Prime as their new head coach on the eve of the Super Bowl. I'm going to write that down. That's not the dumbest thing I've ever seen anybody say on here, which is going a long ways, quite frankly, Chris. That's not the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I mean, if Colorado somehow wins 6 or 7 games, is moderately viable and looks like it, and he's bringing the next great superstar quarterback to the Dallas Cowboys, I don't know. I've seen dumber things. Collier's been at Tech practice the last 2 mornings. He has seen Micah Hudson catch 417 passes. He can answer this question. August optimism is the best optimism. Why should Tech fans be optimistic right now? I say they're probably going to go about 18-0, 19-0 based on what I've seen. Never mind the fact that offensive linemen are dropping like flies. Let's ignore that for right now. I went through why this offense could be really lethal based around Brooks, based around how you can do that with play action, and what Kitley has shown he's willing to do with tight ends and a great receiver like Mike Hudson. But take away all of that. Let's go talk to the man himself, David Collier, KMAC 28 sports director. Just kidding, David. You don't have to answer that question. And that's part of the fun about the first couple of days is that everything is great. Don Williams has done a nice job, by the way, trying to tamp it down. He actually tweeted out today, and before he caught this great pass, Micah Hudson had one go through his hands. I'm like, God, Don, we're going to be mad at you. I didn't even mention Josh Kelly. No, I did not mention Josh Kelly. I apologize. I mean, most people would think Josh Kelly is probably like your weekend third guy, that if the weekend guy gets the flu, that Josh Kelly's coming in and he's going to do Sunday night, and he's, going to run national highlights, which is what I would do when I was doing Sunday nights if I had to produce it. Hell. Yeah, there you go. Maybe I was thinking of Eric Kelly. I don't know. It all runs together. Collier, did you have a favorite MTV band back in the day? Probably not. Doesn't matter. I'm telling you, Lori, go back and you can watch it on YouTube. If you got a YouTube TV or whatever you got, go back, Google up tonight or whatever. Tom Petty live Gatorville, early 2000s, and it's one of the greatest Tom Petty shows in what I call the postmodern Tom Petty. Well after Pack Up the Plantation Live and Wildflowers and anything else after about 91. So there you go. Do that. Go watch that show. When in that show, and you guys can watch it too, not just Lori. My old friend from across the street. Shout out, 78th Street, 5420, 5420, what? 23? Can't remember what hers was. Anyways, you guys can watch the show too. One of the greatest songs on there is they bring out 54 13? Yeah, okay. Yeah, makes sense. Great show. They bring her out and she does I Need to Know. And it's one of the best versions of that song. You would not think that, she'd be able to pull it off the way Tom Petty did. Yeah, a junior heartbreaker in her own right. So Stevie Nicks with the Heartbreakers, live Gatorville. Check it out. Good stuff. It'll give you something. What did you miss? You missed everything. Quite frankly, David, you missed everything. No, this is not live. This is completely tape delayed. I recorded this 2 weeks ago. I'm on vacation right now. I'm actually fishing, for those who want to know. I recorded this 2 weeks ago. Video 13. You ever wonder who lives in our old house, Lori? Not our house, but I mean your house and my house. You ever wonder who the people are who live in there? Yeah. Treat it well. Enjoy the wood paneling. Enjoy the 1980s wood paneling in the carpet and whatever else. All right. All I ask, just be nice. Be nice to the old house. Be nice to the old room. Be weird. Yeah, so Collier, this is tape delayed. We recorded this 2 weeks ago. Glad you're with us. You still haven't given me a legit reason. If you were going to give Tech fans, and I know we're in overtime right now, and I was going to get out of here earlier tonight, but Collier shows up late. I'm like, God, well, okay, nobody saw him on TV, so I feel like I owe it to him as a friend to allow him to have an audience like ours, in real time, tape delayed 2 weeks, to do something. What would be your biggest reason that Tech fans should be optimistic about this fall? What would it be? This where it takes him a long time to type. He's a very deliberate typer. It's I've watched him in media rooms and hotel rooms and hotel lobbies, putting together great crafted stuff for you guys while drinking coffee that I would not admit was actually coffee. And that's what he's willing to do for you guys. David Collier, K-Mac 28, Red Raider Nation, sports director. Give me one reason they should be positive. I'll wait for your answer. Go here. Weird spam. Anybody get easy coins like gas off the pump or something? That seems bad. Weather. Let's go to the weather here. 99 right now. I believe it. 100% I believe it. Tried to clean up my truck today. That was a dumb thing. I was sweating by 10 o'clock this morning. I'm just going to scroll around and look for MTV videos at this point. I guess David left. Makes me feel really awkward. Reminds me of a prom I went to. Oh, no, he's still there. Because they're still letting the media watch practice. Okay, so yeah, it's pretty amazing that they did, and they are. And I'll go with that. Plus, they know that they're not doing anything that anybody's going to steal or anything. Not that, listen, if you can steal stuff from the media as a college football coach, you're amazing. All right, good answer. this is where we got to call it a night. We're going to post this on the website, theraiderland.com. We'll have it for you then on Facebook. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland on Facebook. You can share it from there. You can share it off the website, and you can share it on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media. We want everybody who watches, please subscribe on the YouTube channel. That helps grow things. It creates a metric, little algorithm. We're working on the algorithm, not the Al Gore or the Joe. But anyways, we need the algorithm to go up, and that helps all of our great sponsors. These are automated responses. That's pretty damn funny. So watch for it on there. Share it. Thanks to all the great sponsors. Arctic Air, callthebear.com. Shropshire Agency, Jeff, his great crew. Of course, McAlpin Chiropractic. And then United Supermarkets. Everybody who gets in, you got in because of United Supermarkets. There's one grocery store in West Texas that sends their money to Tech. There's another grocery store that sends their money somewhere else downstate that rhymes with Austin.